Hi crafty friends, it's Lori, the Cheeky Crafter. Today we're going to work on making a curtain fold card. So you want to start with a piece of paper that's 4 by 12, and it needs to be a double-sided sheet of paper. Once you've decided which sheet is going to be your curtain on the front, make sure that's face side up. Then we're going to do a mark 1 inch in on either side. So 1 inch in at the top, 1 inch in at the bottom. And what we're going to do is line those up in the cutter and cut them diagonally. So again, 1 inch in from each side. Line that up in your cutter on the diagonal. Once you've got it, make your cut. And now you've got 2 pieces. So really you could make this card twice. That's all the cutting we'll need, so we'll go ahead and set that aside for the moment. Then we're going to bring in the scoreboard. Now this is a lot of score marks, so don't worry. I will put them down in the comments for you. But your first score is going to be at 1 inch. Then at 2 1/2, 3 1/4, 4 3/4, 5 1/2, 7, 7 3/4, 9 1/4, and 10. And again, I will put those measurements in the bottom comments for you. And that's all the scoring we'll need. Then we're going to do mountain and valley folding. So the first one is a mountain, and you'll see where it's going to show that backside. And the rest is just mountain, valley, mountain, valley. So valley, mountain, valley, mountain, and then valley and mountain the rest of the way until you finish your card. And there you've made your curtain. And you'll see the backside showing there. Then just take your adhesive, tape runner, whatever you want to use, glue, and just put it in between each of those creases of the curtain. And this is just so it'll hold it in place and make it stay looking like a curtain. And once you've got this done on the front side, you're going to want to flip it over and do the same thing again on the back side. So again, just whichever adhesive you prefer. If it's glue, obviously you're going to have to let it dry for a minute. Once that's done, you're going to be ready to put that onto your card mat. And this card mat is 5 1/4 by 4, which will then place on a card base that's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 for your typical standard A2 size card. So once you've got your adhesive on the back, I'm using a tape here. So then I'm just going to peel off the backing. It's a double-sided tape. And then I'm going to line this up to the edge on the left-hand side and at the bottom. So again, this mat was 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm lining this up on the 5 1/4 and then down to the 4. Then I've got that little overhang on the right, so I'm just going to clip that off. And now I'm ready to decorate or embellish any way I like. Now this top, I could color or stamp, or I could use the back side of the paper, which is what I'm going to do here. So I've got that same paper, and I'm just going to use the opposite side to make the top of the curtain. So I've got that applied. And you'll notice there's a little bit of a space between it and the curtain. That's so you can put a piece of ribbon or some twine or anything at all you like, maybe even another piece of cardstock. If you don't want that space, then just cut your paper to 2 1/4 by 4. So I'm just going to use this little piece of green ribbon I've got. I've got another piece of double-sided tape down. I'm going to press the ribbon into it, covering up the top of that curtain. And then I'll flip it over and tack it down on the back side as well. And then once that's done, I'll be ready to apply this to my card mat. Or excuse me, to my card base. And so I'm grabbing a card base. Let me make sure I've got a good score line in it, fold it in half. And I'm just using a plain white card base. Of course, you could use any color you want. And then I'm going to use the double-sided tape again to adhere it to my card base. I really like the double-sided tape for sticking to the card base. It seems to hold it really well. So I've got that. I'm going to line it up, stick it on in the center. And then again, I can embellish any way I like. I could do a die cut at the top, which is what I've got here. So I'm going to just use this little hello die cut that I made. I'm going to attach it with glue. That way I can make sure I get it centered. And you can also, you'll notice in the bottom right corner of the card, you've got that little space where you could put another sentiment if you wanted. Like I could put on this one, I could say, hello, I've missed you. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoy.